and you're not that dumb when things are, aren't working unless you, kind of keep trying to force things. So it's kind of that balance. I mean, it's easy to feel smart if you've got your equity curve at a high, and you just got to remind yourself to kind of it's the process, and there's not every tree is going to be a winner, and even if you hit 10 in a row, that's not sustainable. So I guess trying to keep balanced, but you certainly want to try to read try to get to the flow, because it's really amazing when you're in that kind of feeling where you feel like you're hitting your buys where you want to hit them, and that type of thing. So other questions from you, Richard, or if you.
Yeah, for sure. I've got a bunch here. So, um, first, just to kind of bring it all in perspective, um, and this is my observation. Please correct me if you have a different slight interpretation. But the levels, the pivots, it's kind of an added layer on your existing slingshot and fishhook setups to try to refine a little bit the entry, get a tighter spot where you can manage risk. All of that is that fair to say?
That's correct. I'm not trading them in isolation. We're finding what is the kind of the trades I normally would be taking, but how do we get a little bit better, right? So that's kind of like kind of how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that that's a really good point what you just said. You're not just looking at a level in isolation. You're considering the overall context, the daily chart, whether it's a new IPO, has potential based on other factors. We're not just looking on a 10-minute chart and trying to trade a pattern out of nowhere. Um, I had a question. What creates more significance around a level? Is it more wicks down into that or wicks into it? Yeah,
Sure.
that.
The more, like if let's for example, let's take like a big base,
Mhm.
maybe the more like look at Reddit last year, or coming into this year, right? It was really kept getting rejected. I think about in the 160 level or so, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe my lows are off, but it was just bouncing, off of that, all, sustainable. So the more times it's, showing that there's a supply level or wicking there, and when it finally clears that, you're going to have a lot of it is significant, and it's going to move very quickly. And I think Reddit moved to, I don't know, what did it top out at, 240, 230, but
Yeah, about that.
it moved really quickly through that. I mean, I remember, I loaded up at that point, um, and then I don't know, I think I sold in the 220s because it had earnings coming up, which turned out to be a pretty good move.